Believe it or not, it is that time of year again to discuss the Game Awards. 2023 is coming to an end, and I must say, it has been an epic year for video games. We have had so many great titles all year round, but only 6 have made the cut for Game of the Year. These games are Alan Wake 2, Baldur's Gate 3, Marvel's Spider-Man 2, Resident Evil 4, Super Mario Bros. Wonder, and of course, The Legend of Zelda: Tears of the Kingdom. There is no denying that all 6 of these games are incredible in their own ways. Every title is deserved in the talks for Game of the Year, in my opinion. In this video, I will be discussing some predictions that I have for Game of the Year and my thoughts. Before I get into the rest of the video, consider subscribing to the channel for more gaming content and turn on the bell notification to get alerts for the channel. Anyway, let's get into what I think will be Game of the Year. In this list, the only one that I haven't played is Alan Wake 2, so I can't really put a whole lot of judgment on that game, but I also never played the first one, and I did see the announcement for Alan Wake 2, and I thought the gameplay reminded me a lot of Resident Evil 4, which is great. I love the survival horror atmosphere, and the reception for the game has been very positive, which is what I love to see. I have such a huge library at the moment, it might take some time for me to get into those games, but I do plan on it eventually. But having played the rest of the list, if I had to predict the outcome for what wins Game of the Year, I would have to say that Baldur's Gate 3 gets it this year. The gaming community fell in love with this game, and Larian delivered what could be considered the most polished video game release in 2023. And honestly, the most polished game we've seen released in quite some time. The critics and fan ratings were through the roof for Baldur's Gate 3, and I actually played it while it was in early access for quite some time, and I did enjoy what I played. Of course, considering it was in early access, it did have some bugs, but that's given considering that Larian was letting fans provide feedback while playing, and they reacted and responded well with what the community relayed them regarding the game. Whether you like the game or not, you have to commend them for that. I love seeing a company focus on so much communication and actually make their game better in the process. But since its full release, I haven't been able to fully play through the game yet. It is the game I'm currently playing at the moment. I do have a solo character and a cooperative character, and it does so well with both. Aspects like that should be things that other developers should take into consideration when making a game with single player and co-op components. Which reminds me, when I'm able to finish Baldur's Gate 3, I'll be doing a video on my thoughts and the review of the game. But the only other game that I think that will get it, other than Baldur's Gate 3, is Tears of the Kingdom. I'm not taking negative jabs at the remaining games on the list. I love the list, but in terms of game content, replayability, and everything else Baldur's Gate 3 and Tears of the Kingdom have to offer, I just don't think that there are any comparisons with the rest of the list. This is just my take on that though. I'm curious to see what you guys think. Let me know in the comment section on what game you guys think will get Game of the Year. I also don't want to take away from the other games. They were so great in their own ways. Resident Evil 4 took what was so great about the original and made it better, and I'm a huge fan of the original. Capcom have been amazing with their remakes. Aside from Resident Evil 3, they've been solid overall. Spider-Man 2 took what was built from the first 2 releases and made everything better as well. Combat, storytelling, characters, New York, and Super Mario Bros. Wonder added more depth to what 2D Mario game could be. The new elephant power was pretty cool. The worlds were incredible, adding an extra layer to each level by adding the wonder seeds that just made you absolutely trip out. It was phenomenal. They really found a way to make a 2D Mario game unique with a great art style that makes all of it visually pleasing. Something else that I have noticed is that I have seen some discourse online regarding the nominees as well, saying that certain games were snubbed, blah blah blah, but I don't think they were. Starfield, for example, was the one that only made one nomination, Best RPG. Did I enjoy Starfield? Of course I did. There are plenty of videos on this channel about Starfield and Bethesda, but comparing it to these games, I don't see it being able to compete. I know in a previous video, I talked about how amazing Starfield would be and how I thought it was going to be Game of the Year. I was obviously clearly wrong. There's a lot to love about the game for me, but there are just too many issues that occur while playing that I can't confidently say that it deserves to win over any of the listed games for Game of the Year. I would also like to include some honorable mentions that I enjoyed over this year. Games like Octopath Traveler 2, which is so underrated, Star Wars Jedi Survivor, Dead Island 2, the DLC and game overhaul for Cyberpunk 2077, Phantom Liberty, which I haven't had a chance to play it, but I did enjoy Cyberpunk 2077 a lot, and of course, Hogwarts Legacy. The thing that I really enjoyed about this year is that there were so many titles that spoke to just about every gamer. This was truly a year for single player games, no doubt. As for all the other categories, there are so many great titles in those as well. The only notable one that I can think of is that Yuri Lowenthal will win the best performance category. I'm fairly confident in saying the way that he pushed the boundaries on Peter Parker in Spider-Man 2 was like none other. He's always been an incredible voice actor, and that is still something that he still has merits for to this day. And before I end this video, there is one other point that I would like to talk about that is just pure speculation and prediction. There are no actual facts packs to support this, but I think there might be a chance that we see the reveal of Grand Theft Auto 6 at the Game Awards. In 2022, there were 103 million people that watched the Game Awards using multiple platforms, social media outlets, and networks. Rockstar doesn't need to use the Game Awards, obviously. I'm not saying that they need it, but it would be absolutely mind-blowing and it would steal the show. It would surprise everyone and it would begin the jump for their marketing campaign by catching a huge audience from the jump. Not only that, it would do crazy numbers for the Game Awards, and Jeff Keighley is all about the hype. But like I said, Rockstar doesn't have to do this, but it would make the gaming industry explode. Fans would lose their minds. Realistically though, will this happen? The odds are very low. Rockstar seems to be very random when it comes to announcements. We thought we'd crack their code by speculating that on a Tuesday in October, that was going to be one of the days that it gets announced, considering that they would repeat what they did with their previous titles like Red Dead Redemption 2 and Grand Theft Auto 5's announcements. But of course, these are all of my thoughts and predictions for Game of the Year and the Game Awards, and what I think might happen. What game do you guys hope gets Game of the Year for 2023? Let me know down below. Like I said, if you're not subscribed to the channel, go ahead and do so. The support will be greatly appreciated. Also, smash that like button while you're at it. In the meantime, I'm working on posting my review for Baldur's Gate 3 soon, another video about GTA 6, and a couple more, so stay tuned for those. I will also be covering and breaking down the GTA 6 trailer as it releases. But thank you guys so much for watching, stay safe, and I will see you guys in the next video.